At this moment, Qianlang's eyes grew brighter and brighter, and his whole body felt stiff and achingly sore. He cursed inwardly, wondering what on earth was happening, as these high-level goo insects were clearly not on the same level as the previous ones while the others died silently upon entering his blood. These were now causing a chaotic commotion in his body like a fair. On the other side, Wu-Datu watched with eyes shining as if she had struck gold, her gaze sparkling brilliantly. This was the energy released by the progenitor insects. It was beautiful, absolutely stunning, several times more intense than the previous occasions, and such a strong reaction suggested that something formidable was about to mutate. But just a split second later, her beautiful dream shattered as the reaction inside Qianlang's body plummeted sharply, showing no promising signs at all. Seeing Qianlang lose consciousness, Wu-Datu rushed over in a panic and called out, "Hey kid, what's wrong? Why did you suddenly go silent? What kind of body do you have that it remains as unresponsive as a stone? Where did my high-level goo insects go? Why did they all evaporate?" Wu-Datu stood frozen as if her power had been cut, her brain completely stalled. The problem was what to do next, as these were high-level progenitor insects she had cultivated for 5 years, succeeding only after countless failures, yet now they were all but not even corpses remained. They were nowhere to be found, dead or alive, vanishing as if they had never existed. Wu-Datu immediately searched Qianlang's person, checking everything from his blood and sweat to all sorts of other fluids. She scrutinized him so thoroughly that if any insect were still gasping for its last breath, it probably would have been frightened to death a second time. The result was a complete clean sweep, with not a single progenitor insect surviving. She stared fixedly at Qianlang, her gaze gradually turned peculiar. What kind of creature was this pretty boy exactly, and how toxic was his blood that even high-level progenitor insects were wiped out? Exhausted and disappointed, Wu-Datu slumped into her chair, with only one question flashing in her mind: how should she handle this now? Should she kill him to avenge the unfortunate insects, or keep him like a living treasure specialized in exterminating pests? Just as her mind was spinning like a windmill, Qianlang groaned softly and woke up. The sensation just now felt like being thrown into lava, with his body melting and his blood boiling like a fiery pot of broth. Yet when he opened his eyes, everything was normal as if nothing had happened. The process was agonizing enough to make him faint, but the result was the same. His blood was still as toxic as ever, even enough to wipe out tens of billions of super goo insects. Wu-Datu sank into thought again, wondering whether to continue her research in the old direction or take a new one. Although she still had some backups, the man before her was clearly much more interesting. His blood could kill progenitor insects, so wasn't this a breakthrough? "Master," Qianlang called to bring her back, "what did you just do to me?" Wu-Datu replied nonchalantly that she had taken blood, fluids, and various samples. Qianlang turned to see a row of over a dozen bottles nearby, filled with various liquids that made his skin crawl, and he swallowed hard with a contorted face. "Wait, were all of these taken from me?" "No way, you took everything. Your name is Qianlang, right?" Wu-Datu looked at him with an intense gaze as if she had found a living treasure. Qianlang nodded. "Do you want to take me as your master?" she asked. "Master, at least give me back my clothes before I pay my respects. This appearance is a bit ruinous to my image." Wu-Datu nodded and casually untied his buns. Qianlang quickly dressed and bowed deeply, saying, "Disciple Qianlang pays respects to master." She responded excitedly, "Good. From today on, you are my disciple and my only one, my closed-door disciple." In his heart, Qianlang shouted success. But on second thought, he felt a bit bitter. All the elaborate moves he had prepared weren't even needed, as all he had to do was lie there. Fate truly liked to play tricks. He immediately performed the student salute, asking, "Student pays respects to master according to the procedure. Is there a meeting gift?" Wu-Datu narrowed her eyes and smiled. "You're quite direct. What do you want? Do you have the blood suture?" "Yes. Let me borrow it to read." "No. Why?" "Because it is an extremely important ancient text kept in the central library of Mount Fudo. Only elders are allowed to read it, and it cannot be taken outside." After saying that, Wu-Datu suddenly grabbed Qianlang's shoulders, forced him to sit down, and opened her eyes wide. Before he could understand what was happening, he was pushed into a seat, his eyes wide with surprise. She used a reflecting mirror to shine light directly into his pupils, looking back and forth, but the result didn't change except for the fact that his eyes were still handsome. She didn't stop there, also checking his pulse, heart rate, and blood pressure, examining him from head to toe like a VIP checkup, while Qianlang thought to himself that this world apparently also had the concept of blood pressure. After a thorough examination that left no spot unscrutinized, the result was still empty-handed. Qianlang finally spoke up, "Master, you're wondering where those high-level goo insects went, right?" Wu-Datu nodded. "They're probably all dead without leaving any corpses. Do you still have samples?" Wu-Datu hesitated for a moment, then went down to the basement and poured out a very small amount, about 0.1 ml preserved in a special solution that looked like serum. Qianlang didn't waste words and directly drew about 10 ml of his own blood as calmly as if he were donating it. "Master, pour those goo insects into my blood." Wu-Datu complied. As soon as they touched the blood, it immediately sizzled like water hitting hot oil, and within seconds, all the goo insects were dead. Wu-Datu stood frozen for a second time, even more stunned than before. She immediately re-examined everything carefully and confirmed they were indeed dead, even seeing the remains through a special method. She looked at Qianlang as if he were an alien. "What kind of monstrous blood is this to be so toxic?" Qianlang replied calmly. "I've performed over 100 experiments using my own blood, and the results were always the same. Here is a full report." After saying that, he set down a thick report book. Wu-Datu immediately opened it and began to read, becoming more enthralled as he went, her eyes brightening and occasionally looking up at Qianlang as if thinking, "Oh, so we're of the same kind." She began to realize that this man wasn't just a working test subject but also a fellow researcher of bloodlines. Seeing this, Qianlang asked, "Master, may I see your reports?" Wu-Datu waved her hand. A cabinet door in the distance swung open automatically. Qianlang glanced inside and stood frozen like a statue. It wasn't a normal wall, but a sea of reports stacked high, at least several thousand volumes, clearly categorized from plants and animals to protozoa and bloodlines. He casually pulled a volume from the bloodline section to examine it. The content was so detailed it was dizzying. To a researcher, it would be a treasure trove of knowledge, but to him, it felt like having a scholar's entire stack of notes shoved into his brain. He needed something more digestible, not this dry research log. After a moment of thought, Chen Lang looked up and said, "Teacher, I have a question." Wu Juzi was flipping through his reports like a comic book, his eyes glued to every line, and replied succinctly, "Speak." Chen Lang took a deep breath and said directly, "My wife, Jin Yulan, previously found it very difficult to conceive. I have checked myself and I am completely normal, and she is also fine from her uterus to her internal environment, yet we still cannot have children." Wu Juzi, without needing to think, uttered a single phrase, "purple bloodline." Chen Lang stood stunned upon hearing this. It was a remark that hit the nail on the head with genuine expert precision. Wu Juzi continued. His voice was steady, as if lecturing. "The purple bloodline is an extremely rare form of conflicting bloodline, 1 in 10,000. It is not the strongest, but it is very unique, suitable for both individual cultivation and the battlefield. The price is difficulty in conceiving, as a conflicting energy causes an unstable internal environment." Hearing this, Chen Lang thought to himself that it was spot on. He knew exactly what it was the moment he opened his mouth. He knew Jin Yulan had the purple bloodline, a rare type of conflicting bloodline. She continued to explain, "The purple bloodline is considered the first generation of bloodline mutation, but women carrying this type find it very difficult to conceive because the conflicting energy cannot create a stable uterine environment. It requires deep conditioning, and first, the bloodline must be modified, which has a huge impact on the body. However, once a person with the purple bloodline becomes pregnant, it is easy to produce a second generation of bloodline mutation. After giving birth, the mother's body will suffer severe damage, and even if she tries to give birth again, it is extremely dangerous, and the second child is also prone to problems." Chen Lang felt a chill down his spine. Every detail matched perfectly, from his mother-in-law losing her life giving birth to the second child, to his younger sister-in-law not being exceptional. Finally, he understood, and asked if the second-generation bloodline mutant was a golden bloodline. Wu Juzi shook her head and said it could not directly become a golden bloodline. It could only get infinitely close to it. People who truly possessed the golden bloodline appeared several thousand years ago, but the method has been lost. Fudo Mountain and Tanya Hage tried to recreate it but both failed. Chen Lang asked if the golden bloodline existed in the world. "Is it Great Elephant?" "That's right. Even Tanya Hage and Fudo Mountain do not touch her." Wu Juzi said she was too precious, so they held a meeting and decided to let her develop on her own without interference. Chen Lang thought to himself, why would these naturally greedy factions let her go? Wu Juzi said they didn't lack energy standards for the golden bloodline. Chen Lang immediately understood it was because of Jiang Lai. After she passed away, the major factions divided up the research results. Chen Lang asked if his teacher should go find Jin Yulan, as she was being targeted by Tanya Hage because of her pregnancy. He had already told her everything about his wife earlier. She said in surprise, "That's strange. According to your words, your child should be the subject for the third-generation bloodline test, perhaps even a type of extremely rare and powerful talent second only to one person. So why is there no sign of any bloodline? Furthermore, the fact that Tanner Hage is using your wife means the target is not her, but you. The purple bloodline is rare, but they don't lack it, and neither does Fudo Mountain. Clearly, they haven't found the answer yet, so they sent someone to check your son, didn't they?" Chen Lang nodded in confirmation, and she added, "Your bloodline is extremely special, the true definition of 1 in 10,000. Upon hearing Wu Tudu's declaration, his eyes lit up like truck headlights, and a flicker of hope rose in his heart. A 1 in 10,000 bloodline sounded a bit surreal, but before his joy could blossom, she doused him with a massive bucket of cold water, saying that out of 1,000,000 people, only one was as utterly useless as him. Those with mixed bloodlines could be saved, and even those with grey bloodlines retained a bit of strength. But as for your kind, no spiritual power, no way to be modified, and unable to be upgraded, yet your blood could kill my high-level primordial insect. This is quite bizarre. I need to conduct long-term research. Perhaps it will lead to a shocking breakthrough or even spark a bloodline revolution." At this moment, Chen Lang had no time to worry about how rare he was. All he cared about was whether Mulan could be saved. He stared at Wu Tudu and asked in a raspy voice, "Can my wife still be saved? As long as you save her, you can take as much of my blood as you want." Wu Tudu fell silent for a few moments after hearing this. Then she spoke, "Chen Lang, you came to Pagoda Mountain to save your wife, intending to rely on the blood suture, right?" He nodded. She smiled faintly. "This devotion is touching, but if it's to save your wife, why did you try to seduce me and were so eager to sell your body?" Chen Lang froze, his face blank, not knowing how to respond. Before he could answer, she continued, "Chanting mantras in your heart while letting your body relax. Hey, well, you've proven your feelings by risking your life for your wife. Even if your blood is impure, your love is deep." Chen Lang immediately knelt and clasped his hands. "Master, can my wife be saved? There isn't much time left, 18 days at most, and it takes 11 days to return even at full speed." Wu Tudu pondered for a moment before speaking slowly. "My mother was the first generation of a mutated bloodline, and I'm the second." Chen Lang's eyes widened as he thought, "Good heavens, is her bloodline talent really that high?" Suddenly, she spread her arms and asked nonchalantly, "Do you see anything strange about my body?" Chen Lang quickly replied, "Not strange at all. It's incredibly beautiful." As soon as the words left his mouth, smack exclamation, he received a full-blown slap. Wu Tudu shouted, "Tell me the truth." Left with no choice, Chen Lang looked at her seriously, turned the thoughts over in his mind, and said, "Truthfully, your skin is abnormally pale, almost translucent, and your body temperature is about 2 degrees lower than a normal person's." Wu Tudu continued, "I cannot show you other parts, but generally, I am not like a normal woman. I do not menstruate. The stone nickname people rumor about me is actually true." Chen Lang's mind exploded as he thought, "Good grief, does the stone demoness really exist?" Ignoring his expression, Wu Tudu calmly stated, "My bloodline talent is very high, but I don't like practicing martial arts. I only love research. Even so, my strength is still formidable. My father is an elder of Pagoda Mountain, so our conditions were better than most. After giving birth to me, my mother fell into a coma. My father tried to keep her alive for 3 years in a vegetative state, but she eventually passed away. This situation is extremely bizarre, and your wife's condition is almost identical to my mother's back then. Even my father was helpless. Hearing this, Chen Lang's heart grew heavy. This news nearly extinguished his hope. Even Pagoda Mountain couldn't save her. Chen Lang suddenly said seriously, Teacher, I want to read the blood suture. Wu Tutu looked him in the eye and asked, you intend to study it to save your wife, don't you? No need to read it. I'll tell you right now. In volume 1, page 325, it clearly describes the situation, calling it the reproductive consequence of a second-generation bloodline mutation. Chen Lang followed up, is there a way to solve it then? Wu Tutu nodded, yes, since you are skilled in medicine, you will understand. Chen Lang said, please explain. She explained, the bloodline in your wife's body has completely fallen dormant, and her life force is nearly exhausted. He nodded, correct. I checked. Her bloodline energy is as weak as a dying firefly, belly glowing. Wu Tutu said, the root lies in the marrow, not the blood. The marrow is the source of the bloodline. Chen Lang understood this well. Blood cells are produced from stem cells in the bone marrow. That's a basic mechanism. She continued, Jin Mulin's marrow has lost the ability to generate bloodline energy, so it only consumes without regenerating. At this point, everything became clear to Chen Lang. He finally grasped the core of the problem. Wu Tutu said, according to ancient records, those in the past who went to great lengths to save their wives studied for hundreds of years to create something called marrow cleansing essence. Chen Lang asked for clarification, and she nodded, yes, marrow cleansing essence. Injecting it into the bone marrow triggers a second bloodline transformation, generating new power, helping the comatose person wake up, and causing the bloodline to evolve significantly. Chen Lang asked impatiently, so how is marrow cleansing essence made? She replied calmly, the ancient records we have are incomplete. The manufacturing section is missing. The only way is to find existing marrow cleansing essence. Years ago, my father traveled everywhere looking for ruins, hoping to find a vial, but he eventually came up empty-handed. Chen Lang's eyes brightened as a ray of hope flickered. There's a real sum in the ruins. Wu Tutu said, it's not certain, but experience shows that about 1 in 7 ruins contains marrow cleansing essence because they have alchemy labs, and marrow cleansing essence is a high-grade product. Importantly, it remains effective even after all these years. Chen Lang was instantly excited. This was a godsend. He pressed for does the sky beyond the sea pavilion discovered any ruins recently? Wu Tutu nodded, yes, they were the first to discover them. Afterward, Pagoda Mountain, Chuankan Temple, Dushan Pavilion, and many other factions also received the news, because every time a ruin is explored, it causes major shifts. For a superpower, missing out a few times means going into decline. Chen Lang said excitedly, Teacher, I might know how to open this ruin. I can solve the 1,000-year puzzle the sky beyond the sea pavilion. Chen Lang bowed repeatedly while trying to persuade her, Teacher, let me represent Pagoda Mountain to solve it and open the entrance. Then I'll have a chance to claim it. This is a rare opportunity and a chance to surpass the sky beyond the sea pavilion. If we miss it, Pagoda Mountain will be significantly weakened. This ruin is a matter of survival. Chen Lang insisted, I only need the marrow cleansing essence. Take me to see the mountain master quickly. We must seize the initiative. Time waits for no one. Wu Tutu looked at him and nodded slightly. Fine, I'll take you. Chen Lang immediately replied, yes, master. Without delay, they set off. Suddenly, Chen Lang asked, Teacher, where are the snow-hidden goddess and the Grandmaster Zhang Chuqi now? Wu Tutu said, I know they visited Pagoda Mountain once, but I don't know where they are now. That is not my concern. Chen Lang believed her immediately, thinking that Wu Tutu was a true research geek who probably only wanted to stay in the lab and didn't bother with external affairs. As she was about to lead him to the central island, a man's voice rang out from outside. Elder Wu Tutu, is Chen Lang still alive? The question was blunt and direct. Wu Tutu stepped out to see a boat anchored at the pier with 5 people on board, 1 in white and 4 in black. It was Inspector Liu. She asked, what is the matter? With a slight push of their feet, the 5 men shot forward like arrows and landed on the island. The boat barely moved, and the water remained calm, indicating their immense strength. Inspector Liu clasped his hands and said, we heard someone forged a Pagoda Mountain medallion, so we've come to arrest them. If Chen Lang is still alive, he must return with us to answer for his crimes. Wu Tuzai leisurely said, you don't need to meddle. Chen Lang is indeed my personal disciple. As soon as he finished speaking, Commander Liu was stunned. What on earth is this strange situation? She had never met him before, and he's famously known for not allowing anyone to set foot on the island, yet now he's accepting a disciple? It's utterly shocking. In his mind, he immediately pictured Chen Lang using a honey trap to win her over. The more he thought about it, the more incredible it seemed, to the point of making him freeze. Ordaining his composure, he asked, Elder Wu, according to the rules, to accept a disciple, one must obtain approval from the Grace Hall and register them for it to be considered official. Wu Tuzai calmly replied, is that so? It's still not too late for me to go register now. He immediately drew his sword, pointed it directly at Chen Lang, and said, of course it's still timely. But he has also committed the crime of impersonating a Futu Mountain token. All tokens have clear registrations, and none belong to him. Impersonation is a capital crime. I must escort him to the Hall of Judgment for disposal. Wu Tuzai calmly said, that token is not fake. I gave it to him myself. Commander Liu frowned and said, that's impossible. You've never left the island, so how could you have given him the token? Wu Tuzai replied, my nephew, Wu Ju, once left the mountain to find him. I asked him to bring the token to Shen Lang. At that time, I had already recognized his talent. I wanted to take him as a disciple. Commander Liu then said, in that case, Paul Wu Ju here. A moment later, Wu Ju appeared, still looking normal but always with a gentle smile. As soon as Shen Lang saw him, he was like someone meeting an old friend in a strange land and exclaimed, sworn brother, I've missed you so much. Wu Ju also smiled brightly and replied, little brother Lang, you finally arrived. I've been waiting for you for so long. Months ago, I was already expecting you at Futu Mountain, and now you've truly appeared. Come with me, brother, let's drink today until we no longer know up from down. The two instantly became as close as long-lost brothers upon meeting, no different from a heartfelt reunion after a long separation. When the question was posed, both Wu Tuzai and Chen Lang stayed intently at Wu Ju. In this situation, even a fool would know how to answer. However, Wu Ju bewilderedly said, "No, Aunt never asked me to deliver any token." Chen Lang was not surprised by this. From the moment his experimental records fell into the hands of the Hidden Argent Society, he had already guessed Wu Ju's true role.